The audience at Jimmy Fallon's show burst into laughter when he asked, "What is the number one question that mystifies scientists?" And then quipped, "Why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags?" A moment that perfectly captured the weird and wonderful collision of celebrity lifestyle and late-night comedy. He didn't just throw out a light joke. The host held the mic as the curtain pulled back on Meghan's brand new show scene, where she takes store-bought pretzels, pops them into a personalized bag, labels them, and serves them like haute hospitality. The crowd's reactions said it all. This wasn't just a snack move, it was a punchline in the grand comedy of royal meets influencer. So when Meghan traded her royal title for a media empire, did she really sign up for this kind of roasting? The pretzel bag moment that set it all off.
I know that Daniel loves peanut butter. I'm still going to label this. You always want to be conscious if someone has a nut allergy.
And the low effort.
When I first saw the clip from With Love Meghan, starring Meghan Markle, I couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. She's shown pulling a large bag of store-bought peanut butter pretzels, then thoughtfully transferring the contents into a fancy clear bag, tying it with a ribbon and adding a little label. In her voice, she says, "This, we're just going to put into a different bag," before adding, "I know that Daniel loves peanut butter, but I'm going to label this anyway. You always want to be conscious if someone has a nut allergy." The scene is meant to appear warm, thoughtful, and hostly, preparing a little gift, offering hospitality. But when you step back and watch with fresh eyes, something feels off.
The number one question that mystifies scientists.
Is there life on another planet?
Oh no, why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags?
Then came the moment when Jimmy Fallon brought it to the spotlight. During his Trivia Night segment on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, his sidekick Steve Higgins asked, "What is the number one question that mystifies scientists?" Fallon guessed something cosmic like, "Is there life on another planet?" But Higgins cut in, "Oh no, why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags? They don't know why." Fallon, with a straight face, added, "She takes it from one bag and puts it in another bag, and that confuses people." The audience burst into laughter. What Fallon did was simple. He spotlighted the seemingly innocuous pretzel transfer and turned it into a punchline. Now, why did that moment resonate so heavily? Because it's specific, odd, and speaks to a larger narrative. On the surface, transferring pretzels looks harmless, but the act of taking a mass-produced snack, repackaging it with a custom label, and presenting it as a curated gesture feels like a cue of celebrity lifestyle gone extra. People watching thought, "Wait, why take time doing this when the bag is already sealed and labeled?" The joke touches a nerve. It pokes at the idea that some celebrity personal brand gestures might be overly polished, over the top, or even disconnected from everyday reality. Fallon's roast worked because he didn't just pick any moment. It was one of those moments that many viewers could instantly recognize as trying too hard. And viewers love when a late-night host takes that kind of thing and says aloud what we were all thinking. When Meghan takes pretzels out of one bag, puts them into another, affixes a label, wraps the gesture in a brand moment, she becomes a little symbol of something we feel we've seen before. Celebrity demonstrates normal act, but the normal act becomes theatrical. That moment captured both amusement and a kind of cultural shorthand. The pretzel bag becomes the icon. Why the roast hit hard. What really gives this moment its punch is how it captures the fragile balance between control and spontaneity, something Meghan's brand constantly wrestles with. The entire American Riviera orchard aesthetic depends on projecting ease. She's calm, she's graceful, she's living her best domestic life, but the truth is, that kind of aesthetic only works when it feels effortless. The minute it looks planned, the illusion cracks. Fallon's roast pulled back that curtain. It showed how even the smallest, most ordinary actions, like packaging snacks, can expose how much celebrity culture depends on pretending not to care while caring too much. And there's something beautifully ironic in that. Fallon didn't need to say Meghan's name 10 times or go for cruel humor. He just had to spotlight the absurd detail. That's the art of the roast, using precision instead of volume. His joke worked because it was rooted in something recognizably human. We've all seen that moment where someone tries too hard to appear natural and it backfires. It's like over-filtering a selfie to look candid. The more effort you put in to seem real, the less real it becomes. That's exactly what Meghan's pretzel moment embodied, and Fallon turned it into a social mirror. The reaction online proved the point further. Viewers weren't just laughing at Meghan, they were laughing with recognition. It felt like a collective, we see through this. In an era where every influencer preaches authenticity while using lighting kits and stylized kitchens, Fallon's joke didn't just land because it was funny. It landed because it said something honest about how tired people are of performative realness. The pretzel became a symbol, not of cruelty or scandal, but of the awkward gap between trying to inspire and accidentally revealing artifice. That's why this roast resonated beyond late-night laughs. It wasn't really about Meghan or Fallon, it was about us. We crave authenticity but consume performance. We want celebrities to be relatable, but we punish them when their efforts feel too polished. That tension is the beating heart of modern celebrity culture, and Fallon, knowingly or not, nailed it in one punchline. The broader backdrop, Meghan's media play and its reception. Meghan's transition from royal life into the world of media, lifestyle branding, and entertainment made her far more visible, and also far more vulnerable to scrutiny. As a former member of the royal family, she enjoyed the aura of royalty plus celebrity. Then she and Prince Harry moved into their commercial projects, streaming deals, lifestyle series, personal brands. That shift brought a different kind of attention. No longer was she only royalty making news, she was a media brand who needed to prove relevance, relatability, and profitability. But along with that came public and media expectations that she'd be real, down to earth, authentic. Her show with Love, Meghan attempted exactly that, hosting guests, cooking, sharing moments, but critics weren't impressed. What makes that review sting so much for Meghan is that it doesn't just critique her show, it questions her entire media strategy. When The Independent called the show queasy and exhausting, it wasn't simply about pacing or production, it was about tone. The word queasy implies something off-putting beneath the surface, like a kind of emotional discomfort viewers couldn't quite name but definitely felt. The vapid and overly styled remarks cut deeper because they point to the heart of her problem. People aren't connecting. You can't build a brand around intimacy if your audience feels like they're watching a showroom instead of a person. That's the paradox Meghan finds herself in. She has access to the best stylists, lighting, and production teams, but the more polished everything looks, the less real it feels. Viewers today are allergic to over-curation. They want texture, flaws, the kind of moments that aren't planned. So, when every cup, napkin, and camera angle feels pre-approved, the audience tunes out emotionally. The show becomes a kind of visual performance. Lovely to look at, but impossible to feel close to. Fallon's roast, then, hit a nerve not because it was cruel, but because it echoed what critics had already been saying in fancier words. Meghan's world feels like a display case. And in that sense, the pretzel joke didn't just mock a moment, it punctured an entire image strategy. The irony is that the lifestyle genre she's trying to conquer thrives on connection. Think of icons like Martha Stewart or Joanna Gaines. They invite you in, but they also let you see the messy bits. Meghan's brand, by contrast, seems afraid of imperfection. The result? Distance. And distance is deadly when you're selling relatability. So when audiences laugh at the pretzel scene or critics roll their eyes at another perfect kitchen moment, it's not random ridicule. It's feedback. It's the public saying, we see the polish, but where's the person? Until that balance shifts, every attempt to seem more real may only highlight how rehearsed it all feels. The roast's anatomy, how Fallon and others structured the burn. When Jimmy Fallon stepped onto the stage and launched into his trivia night gag, he wasn't just cracking a silly joke, he built the setup like a mini sketch. He began with the weighty question, what is the #1 question that mystifies scientists? Then the punchline, why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags? The absurdity of equating cosmic mysteries to resealing peanut butter pretzels into personalized bags created an immediate contrast. Serious science versus snack packaging. Fallon's deadpan delivery, she takes it from one bag and puts it in another bag, and that confuses people. New York Post added mock gravity, making the audience feel like they were witness to something both trivial and bizarre. What made the wave of reactions so powerful was how quickly it turned into a collective cultural wink. Everyone, from comedians to influencers to everyday viewers, understood the reference without needing an explanation. That's when you know a pop culture moment has hit the nerve of the moment. The pretzel bag wasn't just about Meghan Markle anymore. It became a symbol of how celebrity relatability can tip into parody. When multiple late-night hosts latch onto the same scene, it's not coincidence. It's commentary on how exaggerated our obsession with aesthetic perfection has become. The audience laughs, not because they hate her, but because they recognize the absurdity of it all. The luxury of time and attention it takes to make something ordinary look extraordinary. For Fallon, Colbert, and others, these jokes also serve another purpose. They humanize the public figures who've drifted too far into curation. Comedy becomes the equalizer. By poking fun at a celebrity's over-polished image, it rebalances the scale between them and us. It reminds audiences that behind every pristine brand moment is just another person trying a little too hard to look effortless. But the tricky part for Meghan is that she's not just any celebrity. She's someone who's built her narrative around authenticity and purpose. So when she's the one being lampooned for something so trivial, it creates a ripple effect across her entire brand story. And that's why the pretzel joke stayed alive longer than most celebrity gags. It touched on something universal: the discomfort of watching someone sell realness while performing it. Fallon's roast didn't invent that tension, it crystallized it. The fact that other comedians joined in only amplified the sense that this was no longer an isolated critique, but a reflection of public fatigue. The laughter carried a message. When your authenticity starts to look like an aesthetic, it's time to rethink how you connect with people. The implication for Meghan's brand and public image. It's also worth noting that this moment perfectly captures how celebrity branding has evolved and how audiences have evolved right along with it. Years ago, a moment like this might have blown over in a day, tucked away in gossip columns or ignored by mainstream outlets. But now, with social media running 24/7, a single clip becomes a reference point, a meme, even a metaphor. The pretzel bag isn't just a piece of internet trivia, it's become a cultural marker, shorthand for when branding slips into self-parody. It's the kind of viral moment that says something larger about how people perceive fame, not as distant glamour anymore, but as a constant, hyper-managed performance that's always one viral moment away from ridicule. For Meghan, that's the difficult paradox. She's trying to build a lifestyle empire rooted in kindness, taste, and connection. But the audience that once admired those traits now sees them through a lens of skepticism. Every soft focus photo or heartwarming quote gets analyzed for intent. People don't just ask, "What does this mean?" They ask, "Who is this for?" The shift in tone changes everything, because once viewers start looking for the performance, it's almost impossible to convince them it's not there. Fallon's roast might have been funny, but what it really did was highlight how fragile modern celebrity credibility can be. One awkwardly curated moment, and the mask slips. There's another layer to this whole situation that makes it even more interesting: the timing. Meghan's brand relaunch and her push back into the spotlight came at a moment when audiences were already questioning the idea of curated authenticity. People are burnt out from endless influencer routines, perfectly staged morning coffee shots, and celebrities who claim to be relatable while living in million-dollar homes. So when Meghan tried to present herself as the friendly host next door, the public's patience for anything that looked too glossy was already running thin. The pretzel bag moment landed right in that cultural fatigue, making it the perfect storm for mockery. It wasn't that people disliked her, it's that they saw her trying too hard to look effortless. That's why Fallon's joke hit such a nerve. It gave everyone permission to laugh at the performance without feeling cruel. It became a kind of release. Even people who weren't paying close attention to Meghan's projects suddenly knew her through that moment. And that's the double-edged sword of viral fame. Exposure without control. She gained visibility, yes, but not the kind she wanted. Yet, within that chaos, there's still power. If Meghan can pivot and show genuine humor about it, she could reclaim the narrative entirely. Because in a world that moves fast and forgets faster, sometimes the smartest thing a public figure can do is turn a meme into a moment of humility and make people root for them again. Why this moment resonates for us. the viewers. There's a reason the pretzel bag moment hit so hard, not just for Meghan Markle, but for everyone watching. When Jimmy Fallon roasted her on live TV, we weren't only laughing at a celebrity getting teased. We were laughing because, deep down, it reminded us that even the most polished public figures can slip into moments of absurdity. Late-night comedy has always thrived on that feeling. We tune in not just for jokes, but to see powerful people, politicians, actors, royals, get brought back down to earth for a second. It's the one place where the world's untouchables suddenly look human again, and that's oddly comforting. When Fallon delivered his joke, asking what mystifies scientists and answering, "Why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags?" the room exploded with laughter because it felt so specific, yet so familiar. Everyone knows someone who overdoes it. A friend who turns a simple task into an aesthetic project, or someone who posts every authentic moment on Instagram with perfect lighting and filters. That's why the bit worked. Meghan's little act of moving pretzels from one bag to another wasn't some great scandal, but it captured a strange truth about modern celebrity culture. How easy it is to lose touch with what feels normal when your life revolves around crafting a brand. We watch these moments because they hold up a mirror, not just to celebrities, but to us. Every social media post, every day in my life vlog, every influencer unboxing something mundane and calling it magic. It all plays into the same pattern of performance dressed as authenticity. Fallon's joke didn't just call out Meghan, it called out the entire culture of trying too hard to seem real. It's funny, but also a little bit telling. We crave authenticity, but when someone performs it too perfectly, we immediately sense the artifice. It stops feeling honest and starts feeling like marketing. What makes this moment even more fascinating is how it blends two worlds that don't usually mix: royalty and influencer culture. Meghan once belonged to the world of crowns, curtsies, and centuries-old formality. Now she's part of the modern celebrity economy, where image and relatability are everything. That tension between monarchy and media, tradition and self-promotion creates a kind of whiplash for the audience. One moment, she's a duchess. The next, she's on Netflix making snack bags. It's that sharp contrast that fuels both fascination and ridicule. We can't look away because it feels like watching two identities collide in real time. And that's part of the reason why this small, funny moment gained such traction. It hit that sweet spot between humor and truth. We've all seen versions of it, especially in an era when everything gets turned into content. Whether it's influencers slicing fruit in slow motion or celebrities pretending to forget the camera is on, these gestures reveal the strange pressure to make ordinary life look magical. Meghan's pretzel swap fit perfectly into that category. It was meant to say, "See, I'm just like you, snacking at home," but the execution said something else entirely. "Even my snacks need branding." And people picked up on that instantly. What makes it even more fascinating is how audiences responded. They didn't rage or criticize, they laughed. It became one of those rare internet moments where humor united people across sides. The laughter wasn't about tearing Meghan down, it was about recognizing something we've all done in smaller ways, trying to make our lives look just a little better for the camera. That's what made Fallon's delivery land so well. He wasn't cruel, he was observant. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.